All right. So I'll try again, and I'll use now -u. I use Hydra -u, and then I'm gonna give the username and password. Sorry, I'm gonna give the name of the form of the service. And now, as you see, it gives you a long description on how to use the service. And at the bottom, it gives you examples. And the examples are amazing, as you can just copy them and paste and adapt to your target. And the form of the service is you give the location where the brute force, you give the URL, and then the user parameter and the password parameter, and then you give the incorrect message. When there's a fail on the login, what happens to the web page? So what I do, I'll copy all of this. I'll copy this, and let's try work with that to modify it. So the first thing you want to is to put the I just paste it here. It's going to be much easier for us to work on. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I have to put the location, as I mentioned to you. So I have to copy all of this, and I have to replace, instead of the login.php here, so that'll be the, I'll put all of that and replace there. So I going after the IP address, right? Starting from utility, so I'll delete the login page there, the login.php here, and I'll replace with utility index.php and etc. All of that stuff. So let's do that. Copying, replacing here. Okay, sounds good. Now the next thing we need is the user and the password. So these are the names of the parameters that are sent to the web application, and we don't know what the application is calling those parameters. So we need to find that out. And to do that, we're going to have to use Burp Suite. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'll make sure that my interceptor is set to on Burp Suite. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to log in with wrong username and password. I try admin, but I put a wrong password here. And what we're trying to see is I'll go back to Burp Suite right now on the proxy settings, and I'm looking for headers, and I see down what's going on here. So I see username admin, and what I see here is that the username and the parameter is just called username, right? And I have to copy this and replace at Hydra. So I have to go back to my Hydra, and instead of user, I have to put username, because that's the name of the username parameter that the application is using. And I have to do the same with pass. So here the parameter is pass, but let's see what the web application is really using. The password is saying password. So again, I will copy that and paste the same way. Okay, and going back, you also see that there is an extra parameter here that is login PHP submit button, and you have to submit that as well to your request, exactly the way it is. So just the end login, PHP, stuff like that, you just copy that and paste to your at the end of your parameters. So just add by the end after the password. Okay. Exactly the way it is. You don't have to modify anything. And the last thing we need to do is to modify another thing here that is going to tell Hydra how it knows if there was a successful login or an unsuccessful login. And when it does, it's going to work if you, for example, you can set both ways. You can set a capital F, and then it should tell them what is the message when there is an unsuccessful login, a fail, F as a fail, and an S if it's a successful login, what is going to be the message. That's also we're going to have to figure out and find out and to use which one is going to be best for you. So in our case here, we're going to use capital F to tell what will happen when a fail login happens, of course, and we'll turn off the interceptor at burp and really see what happens when you try a fail login, to see what kind of a message that the web application is showing up to us. So that's the only way Hydra will know. And as you see here, there is this authentication error, bad username or password. I tested it out already for you, and I figured out that on this particular web application, the best way to get it is to get from the message on the top that is not logged in. So every time the user tries to authenticate and it fails, the web page will show up that message. So I'll copy that and put on my parameter F. So when there is a fail, the web application will display to you a message called not logging in. So these are the most important part and the most tricky part of the whole attack. We'll go over it again for you. So there is basically three parts. The first is the location where the page will brute force it. We took that from the URL of the login page. Okay, that's that part there. All right, that's the URL, that's location. We got that from the web application on the login page. The second part is really more about the parameters that you will be dealing with and that will be sending to the server, and we took that from Burp Suite. And the third part is actually the way how Hydra will know that login was successful or unsuccessful. And we use a capital F to tell what happened when a fail login happens, and we got that message back from the web application itself when you try a wrong password. So we will combine everything here with the command we already have. So Hydra, the IP, followed by -L username admin, capital P, and then the password list, that in this case is root test.txt, and I'll paste everything there that we talked about right now. And that will be our command. You also have to specify the you can't forget to put the method that you're going to use. In our case, HTTP post form that you talked about already, and that's it. So you now have just to copy everything here and paste to here. There is also a small error here. There are 2 P's here, so we fix that and hit enter. And so we're just going to execute right now and wait for what's going on. You can use the -V option, and that Hydra will display every request it sends to the server. I didn't use it right now. You can wait for it. Hydra also supports pause and resume. If you just Ctrl+C, the next time you run it, you just put a -R, and It will actually allows you to continue from where you left last time. And as you see, Hydra found a valid username and password. Username admin and the password admin pass, and this works against any web login that I mentioned. So Hydra works on any web login. Literally doesn't need to exploit any JavaScript or do any SQL injection. What I can do now is just go back to the application and try to use the admin that I got from Hydra and password, admin pass, and as you see, I'm now logged in as administrator.